of Thebes. King Seti I Men Maat reigned from 1318 to 1304 BC. He succeeded his father, Ramesses I, in the throne, and it appears that, as was previously said, he shared late life rule with him. Because he dated the first years of his reign as the Renaissance, the king had ushered in a new era in the history of ancient Egypt. His Neti title was Wehem Mesud, which literally means repetition of birth, but has a figurative meaning that could refer to the era of revivification or the Renaissance. For example, the texts mention, for example, the second year of King Seti I's era of repetition of birth, and astronomy was one of his interests. We must acknowledge, nevertheless, that this dynasty has taken a new and unfamiliar path. It is evident from the names of its kings, including Merneptah, Seti, and Ramesses. The gods Re, as Ramesses, Seth, as Seti, and Ta, as Merneptah, were the havens for its kings. The reason for this could be that, unlike the kings of the 18th dynasty, who adopted Amun, as Amenhotep, and Thoth, as Thutmose, as their protectors, the family's homeland is the Delta rather than Upper Egypt. The scenes and text engraved on the northern and the outer walls of the hypostyle hall in Karnak recounts the king's wars in Syria and Palestine, and Seti was regarded as one of the earliest kings to extensively document his military exploits on the walls of the temples. Following a report confirming the Bedouins of Palestine, Shazu in ancient Egyptian language, were planning a revolution to overthrow Egyptian control, the king went there and put an end to them in the first year of his reign. He then led his army to retake what Egypt had lost in Asia by marching with his army along the military road of Horus, which ran from the ancient Egyptian city of Kantara, Tijaru in ancient Egyptian language, to the city of Rafah, which was the first village in Palestine. To keep the Bedouins of the desert off the road, the king ordered the construction and re-establishment of guard posts along the route. It was through these that we learned about Seti I's Migdal, a fortified fortress. In order to provide water, he also gave the order to dig wells like the well of Seti Merneptah. The king succeeded in driving out the rebels and securing the way. He proceeded to conquer Lebanon and even gave its prince orders to chop down enormous quantities cedar trees and transport them to Egypt. In addition, he launched another campaign against Kadesh on the Oront River, defeating his enemies there and leaving a stela that recorded and celebrated the triumph. In addition, texts and scenes depicting his battles with Libya and the Hittite kingdom can be seen on the walls of the hypostyle hall in Karnak. Subsequently, during his reign's 4th and 8th years, the king initiated 2 campaigns to destroy the rebels from Nubia. In order to prevent state employees from abusing holy property in Abydos, the king issued a proclamation. If there's anything to be inferred from this, it's the deviance that the king observed among state workers during this time. As a result, the king has made exploiters and corrupt officials subject to harsher punishments. For instance, we observe that chopping off the nose and ears of an employee who gains control of some illegal goods is a form of punishment, and that robbing a shepherd results in hitting him with 200 sticks, among other punishments. The king took part in the construction of Karnak's enormous hypostyle hall. In the sacred city of Abydos, he also constructed a temple that he named the Mansion of Millions of Years. This temple is undoubtedly one of the wonders of ancient Egyptian architecture. Its walls are adorned with delicate engravings and beautiful scenes that stand out for their exquisite details and color schemes. These scenes depict the various rituals the king performed in front of the gods and goddesses, and the temple is notable for having 7 shrines dedicated to the Egyptian gods and goddesses, one of which was designated for the king himself. After ruling for 14 years, Seti passed away and was buried in his well-known tomb in the King's Valley. This tomb is regarded as one of the most luxurious and spacious royal tombs because it is more than 100 meters long and is decorated with texts and scenes from religion and astronomy that were popular at the time. Regarding the temple dedicated to his memory, it was constructed on Kurna on Thebes' western mainland, and its remains can still be seen today.